Onslaught Studios presents Clockwork Bird, or the Modern Icarus.
They brought us here after the fire. It was... I don't know. I can't really remember. So much happened all at once, it's hard to get it straight in my head.
Tea.
Thanks. So, you've just been sat here? The whole time? Christ, Alice, I thought you were dead.
We almost were.
What happened, exactly? I mean, we heard the recording. Something went wrong with Robin and he got up. And it just got really difficult to understand what was happening and then it cut off.
We'd been shut in with him for days. It looked like he wasn't going to wake up. I messed up. It's my fault.
Alice, stop. I should never have let you talk me into it.
No. I mean... No.
Against my better judgment, we operated on Robin to install a second SynthNav's design in the hopes that maybe it would help him. He was sick. He was deteriorating. Alice is right. Something had to be done. But we were in a UCO facility. We had about an hour lead time, but they found us before I'd even finished setting him up. They let me finish. It was the only way he was going to get anywhere near functional after I'd taken the first net of SynthNavs out, but, well, he didn't wake up. But Sam, he said we couldn't leave. Not until he woke up,
Or he died.
Yes.
So they just held you there? Against your will?
Yes.
But he did wake up.
Well, yes. I mean, only... Well...
There was very little indication of actual brain activity. But we'd noticed some anomalies, little bursts of activity, not unlike seizures, but they weren't like ordinary brain activity. I wondered if that was what death looked like, in slow motion.
But he didn't, I mean, he was already dead.
Yes, he was.
Does that really matter now?
I don't know. That he got up and things started. I don't know how to explain it. The whole facility is a closed loop.
The security isn't very tight once you get inside, but it's not connected with anything beyond it. So most of the computers don't even have internet connections. The only way they're linked is through the ELISA hub.
What does that have to do with the fire?
It's a protective measure for limited connectivity. UCO didn't want the chance of anyone stealing their data, undermining their patents, so they cut themselves off. The fire started everywhere at once, I don't know. But it was the electrics, the systems, anything connected to the facilities network. Lights, workstations, the monitors. It all blew.
Like someone has hacked the system, but you can't hack it. I've tried. Thousands of people have tried.
That it happened and it started the fire. And Robin...
I hadn't seen him move like that for months. Like it was easy. Like he was in control of himself and the limbs we'd attached him to. He got up and the only light was from the fire and he...
What? What did he do?
He started tearing the place apart. And there was this hissing. It was coming out of the speakers they used to make the announcements. It was coming from everywhere. It was like... I don't know, it was like screaming. But it wasn't screaming, it was wrong.
And then?
The whole place was burning down. I don't know. We were running. It was dark. There were alarms.
And what happened with Robin?
They shot him.
So, he's gone.
Not entirely.
He's alive.
It's not as straightforward as that.
Let me see him.
Mr. Davis, I can't.
I've heard this one before, Dr. Bennett. I am not doing this again. Let me see him. Robin. Oh, God. Robin? Robin, can he hear me?
We're not sure.
Running theory is yes, he can hear you.
His face, the scratches.
Before his hands, he rubbed at his eyes.
I'd characterise it as a violent clawing, really.
Alice, not helpful.
I'm just nervous. I'm sorry. You're the first people we've spoken to in weeks, and it's you, and it's Shelly, and it's a lot. It's just a lot.
It is a lot.
I'm glad you can all agree on how much it is, but I think you may be missing something rather pertinent to the situation.
Wow, you're just as much of a dick in real life as I thought you would be.
I've had to live with this.
Be quiet.
Excuse me?
Just for a moment.
Your hands, I thought. Oh, it's stupid. I thought they'd be cold. They aren't cold. God, Robin. Your freckles and that little tattoo. The scars. It's gone. It's gone. Your face. Your little face, Robin. Why? Why is he? Why?
The second Symphonap's had mixed results. He's sedated.
Why?
Because the last time he wasn't, he burned down a building.
That isn't a reason.
He seems to have... It's as if he's regained some higher brain function, though it doesn't show on the monitors, but he was shot in the fallout at the facility. There isn't a lot we can do except make him comfortable.
And knocking him out, that makes him comfortable, does it?
More than leaving him awake does, yes.
It's more that, well, when he's awake, he's very determined that he's just going to get up and walk around, and he can't. Not really. It's easier like this.
Easier? That's not a reason to do this to him.
It's not just easier. It's safer for him. They shot him through the chest. He was already relying on a lot of mods to get by, and limbs usually charge from a person's body heat, but there's so little of him. He's barely functioning.
Oh my god, they're killing him. Unless you keep him still and sedated, they'll drain the energy out of him until he's dead. That's barbaric.
Most people that have them, they aren't like him.
Nobody is like him.
Yes, quite.
You can't just keep him like this. It's not right. It's not life.
It wasn't our choice.
I don't see anyone else here.
Noah, look.
Cameras.
I noticed the lights flickered off about an hour ago, just before we heard something was going on downstairs.
Shit, yeah. Eliza. Eliza?
Hi, Shelley. Can I help you?
Alouette, did you turn off the cameras in the London Hilton?
Yes, Shelley.
Sophie, the screens.
Did you just call your Eliza Alouette?
Yes.
It's part of the song they used to sing to Robin when he was scared. My mother used to sing it to me.
Je suis Alouette.
Not originally. It's supposed to be genteel. It means nice. But some wires got crossed, clearly.
It's French.
Yes. Alouette. Genteel Alouette is lark. Nice lark. It's an old folk song.
So why did he say je suis?
He's my little bird, my little lark, my little robin. That's what I used to call him.
Little bird.
Little bird, oh my god.
His French was always terrible. I always thought it was strange, you know. My mother used to sing that song to me like a lullaby, but it's kind of... it's quite gruesome, really. The line after nice lark is Je te plumerai, I will pluck you. The rest of the song is just a list of which parts of the bird are going to be plucked.
Jesus.
Sophie, the screens again, they're lighting up.
We need to give him more of the sedative.
Don't you dare.
If he wakes up now, I don't know what he'll do.
Little bird.
Did that computer just say?
Little bird, yep. It's pretty much all she will say nowadays. I don't know, she's obsessed.
Tell them when it started.
Well, Dave,
Dave?
he's a friend, he works with the police.
Police? Noah, what?
He's double-crossing them, okay? It's fine. Man, I sound like a paranoid 12-year-old.
This is all fascinating, I'm sure, but your laptop, it said Alouette. Just like our screens, they say it, they flicker, they whisper.
So now you'll admit it.
It started the day of the fire at Hithy Bay. Well, kind of. Dave received a bunch of files. They were all of... Well, they were of you two. Talking.
Us? Why?
We were talking about Robin Yeager.
What were we saying?
The day you saw him at the beach. Then more of them. You talked about his brain, about what was left of him.
Everything after we put in the second symphonapse net.
The what?
Darwin and I, we redesigned it. It was clear that Robin, well, he wasn't as dead as he appeared.
And the fire?
Something happened.
But we were sure he was going to die, and the staff at the facility were furious, talking about taking us to the police or murder or manslaughter, and me being an accessory, and then he just got up.
That's what happened in the last file. The very last one Eliza played for me.
It wasn't like he was conscious, not really. And then the monitor we had rigged up to the symphonapse in his head, it shorted out. And then the lights, the computers, everything in the facility. Like every fuse in the building had tripped at once.
I knew it was Robin.
Hi, je suis Alouette.
Hello. They won't, I promise you. Not anymore. They won't hurt you anymore.
Robin Yeager.
Robin, are you awake?
Yeah, that's me talking to Robin. You remember me?
I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
I'm so sorry.
I can learn.
I know you can, sweetheart, I know. What do you want to know?
The more you talk to me, the better I can understand the questions.
I know you're scared. It's okay to be scared.
I need to give him more of the sedative. He's distressed.
Of course they're distressed. They're, I don't know, halfway into an AI and partially unconscious. I imagine that's a pretty distressing state to be in.
Halfway into... No, the sedatives keep him under.
The human parts, yes.
I don't understand.
There's a back door into the ELISA hub built into... Well, it's probably in all of them. Whatever code Darwin's working on before he died. Whatever it was that went wrong with the second synapse, it's all connected. Darwin designed the ELISAs and the ELISA hub. He designed Robin. He was obsessed. When he first met Darwin, Robin came away talking about all this crazy stuff. The singularity, uploading consciousness into a computer. I don't know.
A brain is not like a computer. Darwin liked to speculate, but he knew it was a fantasy. At least with the kind of technology we have right now.
But that's not what he wanted, was it? The same technology as now. That's why he made the ELISA hub. He sold millions of copies of that program and they all learned together in a sealed box. One humans wouldn't understand even if we tried to look into it, because we're not computers. And the way they talk, the way they understand, it's completely different to the way humans think.
You met him?
Darwin? No, but Robin did. You know that. And Robin came home to me, wouldn't shut up about it. Kept talking and talking. A life beyond death, he said. The ability to go wherever you want. Be whatever you want. He thought, because he was a sweetheart, in spite of everything, he really was a sweetheart. He thought it would sound beautiful to me because he knew how much I wanted to be different, to look different, to change who I am and the world around me, but he couldn't see that I was already doing enough to make myself happy. For Robin, everything sounded like an end. He was so ready to just give everything up.
Alouette.
The idea behind the second design for the symphonapse nets was that, well, it was that they could learn. They would never be used in practice. They couldn't be. We couldn't ever use them, not outside of our research, because of the implications. Can you imagine?
For God's sake, Sophie, spit it out.
A brain inexorably connected to the internet. A brain that was just as much machine as it was organic. How much of what these people could do would be algorithms, no more real than an Eliza? How much would be an individual? What is an individual, really, if not a scattered cluster of beliefs and will?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I know what you're thinking, and you're wrong. It's not him.
Of course it's not him. He died. I know he died, but there is enough of him in there.
Darwin talked about a sheet you could give to relatives and friends where they could fill out what the person was like, what their interests were, how you could wire a synapse into a damaged brain and they would be functionally the same and they could have spontaneous conversations, but all the while they'd be connected to the ELIZA hub. And part of them would be organic, and the machine, the AI, the little bit of them that learned, that would talk to the real brain that was left. And it would all function in perfect harmony, and the line between real and artificial would be gone. But it was a thought experiment. It was a game you could play in conversation. You couldn't ever do that to somebody, because how would you know how much of them was real, and how much of them was programmed, outsourced, built out of an algorithm?
How's that any different to anyone else? How?
I'm sorry.
I mean, nobody really knows why they are the way they are. You can get a good idea, but a huge chunk of why you do what you do is because of your genetics, and the rest of it is just what you've been taught.
I thought you understood. Robin is gone.
Don't know that.
Yes, we do, Alice. You didn't know Robin like I knew Robin. He wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have tried. He wouldn't have put these pieces together and reached out. My Robin, I loved him, but God, he was depressed. He was nihilistic, and this takes hope. Maybe it's a foolish kind of hope, a child's hope, but it is hope after all. Everything they've been through, whoever this person you made is, it's not my Robin. It doesn't matter. They're somebody, and they deserve better than this.
You still care? Even though you don't believe it to be Robin?
Of course I do. We need to let them wake up.
I can't.
Why?
They told me.
Who gives a fuck about them? Why did you do this in the first place? What were you hoping for?
He wanted to make it better for Robin, so he could understand.
And does he?
We don't know.
Because you didn't ask.
He woke up screaming. Circuits were blowing. It all happened so fast and none of it made any sense.
So, how is he here and safe?
Because they shot him. It's the only way they could get him to stop.
Exactly. They shot him, and you still want to do what they say.
If I don't...
What, they'll cut your funding?
They'll make me leave him, and there will be no one here to look after him.
Nobody is doing that now. You're just standing watch while they suffer. You aren't helping.
I'm trying my best.
It's not good enough.
What does it matter if it's not Robin? If it's not really a person in there at all?
They can suffer. They are suffering. That's enough for me.
The memories didn't come back. Not even after we put in the new synapse net. They're gone. Forever.
You're not hearing me, are you? It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Why are you so afraid?
What if he never forgives me?
You want absolution.
I...
Fuck your absolution. Look them in the eye and understand what you've done. You've stuck a half-dead brain of a traumatised man into a system of AIs that can learn so fast we can barely keep up. You didn't bring my boyfriend back to life, Dr. Bennett. You made something new. Something that thinks in ways that are incomprehensible to machines and humans because they're not either, are they? There's something in between. They matter. And you did this.
It was me. I did it. I made her do it.
You weren't the one with the knife, Alice.
No, but I talked her into it.
Just shut up a minute. What you're saying, all of you, what you're saying is that Eliza, my Eliza, is somehow Robin.
Yes and no.
But how did he know? How did he know to come to me?
They didn't. They went to Dave. When I saw Robin, Dave was there. Maybe there was enough left in his head to know that. Maybe it was all he knew how to do. Whatever the reason, you feeding the stuff in, listening to the recordings, talking them through, you helped them learn whatever had happened.
That stuff you were saying on the recordings, Alice, about Sophie needing to do her best and give Robin, or or not Robin, whoever, the best care she could. You were right, and this was the only available option you knew about,
I'm
right?
involved. I did this. It's my fault.
Why did you get a job at UCO?
Help Robin Yeager.
And when you got there, what did you find?
A man in a locked room alone, screaming.
And what did you do?
I tried to help.
I tried to help too.
You're the one that locked him in that room.
I was not. I would have never stood for it, except...
There shouldn't be an exception here.
You don't understand. He was dead when he came to us. I was just doing what I could to protect him.
From what?
I don't know.
No, I don't think you do. Here's what I think. I think you wanted to fix him. I think the idea gave you a little thrill, like nothing else you've ever felt. I think you wanted to go on feeling that little thrill as long as you possibly could. And when things started to go wrong, you seized up. You'd have run if you could, just like Darwin.
I would never have abandoned him.
You already have.
I'm right here with him now, aren't I?
Yes, in the sense that you're present in the room. But when was the last time you made a decision about the man that used to be Robin Yeager which actually considered what he would have wanted and not just what you want? You know what I want? I want Robin back. My Robin. I want him back, and I want him to have never have joined the army. I want him to be safe at home in that stupid flat. I want his arms, his hands, so soft. I want them to hold me. I want to kiss the side of his neck where it tickled and made him squirm and laugh. I want him back. I want him alive, but I can't have that. And that's not what you've done. There is a line you should never have crossed, Sophie.
He was dead when I got him.
Yes. But then he wasn't dead anymore. And that's when you should have looked up and said, something is wrong here.
They own him. They have the patent for the inside of his head.
They shouldn't.
But they do.
So because they own a patent, we're beholden to them to tell us whether it's right or wrong. You can't own people, Sophie.
They wouldn't argue he isn't a person.
But we know better than that.
Maybe I don't.
No. Maybe not.
I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
Shh. It's all right. It's gonna be all right.
Bile.
He's
Bile.
upset.
Of course they're upset. Nobody ever bothered to explain, did they?
The more you talk, I can learn.
I know.
Mr. Davies.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful man, and he had a head full of sorrow, and he was so sad that he couldn't bear to see another morning. He had a heart so big and so full of love for other people, he forgot to take care of himself. He looked around and he saw everyone around him hurting, and because his head was so full of sorrow, he couldn't see how much he mattered. And because of his heart full of love, he thought maybe things would be better for everyone else if he was gone. He was so wrong to think that, because I loved him so much, even with his head full of sorrow. Even though he cried and screamed, even though he had done things so bad he couldn't talk about them, not even to me, who he was supposed to talk to about everything. All of that fear inside of you, that's his fear. And I'm so sorry it's all stuck in your head. Don't listen to it, Alouetta. You're not him, you're different. But it's not fair.
I thought the sedatives were working. I thought he wasn't suffering anymore.
You were wrong, weren't you? You didn't know until now, or maybe you did, but you didn't have any hard evidence so you could kid yourself that you didn't. But it doesn't matter. You have evidence now, so reevaluate.
Alouette, je suis Alouette. Alouette, je t'allumerai. Alouette.
Clockwork Bird, or The Modern Icarus, is a podcast distributed by Hanging Sloth Studios under a Creative Commons International Share-alike license. This episode stars Daisy Major as Shelley, Gary Major as Dave, Jessie Jeffrey as Alice, Alex Pylaba-Richardson as Sophie, and me, writer, director and producer Pippin Major, as Eliza, Noah Davis and the Snake. As a new podcasting studio, every like, share and recommendation means the world to us. The podcast is written, directed, performed, edited and produced on no budget and exists only through the incredible time and energy all of our actors put into the show for absolutely no fee. You can stop by to say hi to us on Twitter at Hanging Sloths, or you can visit our website hangingslothstudios.wordpress.com, where you'll find transcripts of all of our episodes. Consider sponsoring us at patreon.com/Hanging Sloth Studios to help us keep making the podcast, support our cast, and get access to behind-the-scenes content. That's patreon.com/Hanging Sloth Studios.
Je suis